In today's video, we're going to dive into 5 false beliefs that are holding you back from achieving your author dreams. My name's Jackie. I'm a mystery author with a book coming out from an imprint of Penguin Random House in 2026, and I see aspiring authors struggle with these misconceptions all the time, so let's break them down and get you on the road to author success. False belief number 1. I don't need to read to become a writer. This belief is misguided for multiple reasons. When you're an aspiring author, reading is not merely just something you do for pleasure, it's also a learning experience. As you read, you can learn valuable lessons from successful authors. You're learning from them how they structure their stories, how they develop characters, how they build tension. When you're first starting out, reading books and analyzing why they are or aren't successful is the easiest way to grow your skills. Additionally, as an aspiring author, you need to understand your target audience. How do you do that? By reading the books that your target audience is reading. It's important to understand genre conventions and trends so that you can put yourself in your ideal reader's mind and also ensure that your book is not a carbon copy of something else that already exists. If you're not reading, you're missing out on a whole wealth of knowledge that's going to help you on your career. False belief number 2. If somebody doesn't like my book or give me criticism, they just don't know what they're talking about. I see many aspiring writers take any form of criticism extremely personally, and that's just going to hold them back in the long run. Not everyone will connect with your story the way you do, and yes, there will be some people who will misunderstand it, but you can't dismiss every single piece of criticism as the person just not knowing anything. Because let's be honest, guys, nobody is perfect. Not you, not me, not the most successful author in the world. Everybody has things they can improve on. Constructive feedback helps you grow as a writer, and if you're refusing to accept any of it, ultimately the only person you're hurting is yourself. When you write a book, it is extremely important to get other people's opinions because you are looking at the book from the perspective of the author. You know your intentions. You know the backstories of all the characters. But somebody who's reading your book may be able to point out gaps or areas of confusion that you didn't notice because you have the entire story in your head. Maybe there's a very important plot detail that you forgot to mention, but you didn't notice it because you, as the author, remember it. Perhaps your villain's motivation is not clear or the romance is just not landing. Just because you, the author, intended for something to come off a certain way does not mean that's how it's actually going to come across to your future readers. So it is important to seek out opinions. Constructive criticism is not a personal attack. Instead of getting defensive in the face of criticism, take a deep breath, step back, and ask yourself, okay, where is this person coming from? Do I understand their point? Do I think there's something that I can learn from this? And I think a really good rule is that if 3 people all give you the exact same critique, then you definitely need to do something about it. False belief number 3 is my book is like nothing else that's ever existed before. Of course, authors should aspire for originality, but let's be honest, mankind has been around for a very long time, and there is no such thing as a completely original idea. If you have an idea for a story, odds are that somewhere in the world, another person thought of the exact same idea completely independent of you. And you know what? That's totally okay. You definitely shouldn't try to copy books that already exist, but if there's something out there that's a little bit similar to yours, that's fine, because the secret of the publishing industry is that they want things that are the same, but different. Publishers want something that is unique, but does appeal to an existing reader base. So don't write a series of books that are set at a magic school starring a young wizard who lived in a cupboard. But if you want to do a book about magic for young readers, that's fine. Before we dive into these last few false beliefs holding you back from author success, make sure to like this video if you're finding it helpful. It really does help my channel so much. And subscribe if you want to see more videos from me on writing and publishing. The fourth myth that I want to talk about today is my book has no genre, or my book has no tropes. I hear a lot of people on the internet say these things, and whenever I hear it from someone, it just tells me that they're not that educated about the market. Also, genres and tropes are not bad. I love mysteries, so I seek out mystery books. Readers know what they like, and they're going to look for other books that fit what they like. They know what to expect from a mystery, from a romance, etc. It feels nice to them. It feels comforting. It feels secure. You can also use subgenres or blend two genres together to fit a more niche audience. For instance, my book that's coming out with an imprint of Penguin in summer 2026 is a historical mystery. It is both historical fiction and a mystery, so it will appeal to audiences who enjoy those two genres. When a reader goes to Barnes & Noble, they're going to go to the section that they like the best. They're going to go look for mysteries. They're going to go look for romance. They're going to go look for young adult because that's what they know they like. They're not going to go to Barnes & Noble and be like, golly gee, let me spend $30 on a book that's like nothing that I ever read before and that I may possibly not like. As for tropes, these can also be really helpful in getting readers to find your book. If there's a reader out there who knows that they love enemies to lovers, and your book has enemies to lovers, that piques their interest and makes them want to give your book a chance, because they know they like that element. I also see some people who say that tropes are bad, that all tropes are unoriginal and played out, but I don't think that's true at all, because tropes can be very broad. If you write an enemies to lovers storyline, it's not going to be like every single other enemies to lovers storyline out there. I mean, there's a massive difference between Elizabeth and Mr. Darcy's enemies to lovers storyline versus Rey and Kylo Ren. It's the same trope, but they're not the same. Genres and tropes are going to help you reach your desired reader, but you can also put your own spin on them at the same time. They don't need to be confining. And false belief number 5, if I don't get my first book published, I must not be a good writer. Rejection is a part of the publishing process, and it is actually very rare for people to get the first book they ever wrote published. Many of the most successful authors were rejected over and over again before they got their big break. I think Brandon Sanderson wrote about 7 or 8 books before he was first published, and he said in his YouTube lecture series that friends of his who did publish their first books actually later came to regret it because they grew so much since then. Publishing is not about getting a book deal on the first try. It's about persistence, growth, and constantly evolving. Don't beat yourself up if the very first book you try to get published doesn't get published. That's a normal experience. I think it's more common for the first book to not succeed than for it to succeed. It also doesn't mean that you're not a good writer or that you can't become a good writer with further learning and practice. Timing and luck is also part of the process too. In the face of adversity, keep writing, keep learning, keep improving, and eventually the right book will come at the right time. Writing and publishing is a journey, and it looks different for every person. The first book isn't the end. In fact, it's only the beginning. These false beliefs can hold you back, but once you start challenging them, you'll be amazed by what kind of progress you make. That's it for me today, you guys. If you watched this entire video, drop your favorite purple emoji down below and let me know any additional questions you have in the comments. Make sure to hit subscribe, and if you want to watch another one of my videos, I recommend this one where I share the story of how I got my literary agent. Thank you so much for being here, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. I'll see you next time.